Okay. Well, happy Halloween, everybody. Welcome back to Aligning with Success. I can tell some of you have decided not to go out trick-or-treating, myself included. But some of you have decided to go out trick-or-treating, or at least you're waiting for the kids to come. Good for you. I know back in California, you're at 6 o'clock. Is it dark yet there? It's already dark?
Oh yeah, I got to turn on my light.
Okay, wow. Yeah, it's dark here. It's getting darker. But no trick-or-treaters here in my neighborhood. I think everybody's grown up and nobody's coming around. So that's that.
There's King Neptune. Can you see it?
That's
Yeah.
me, but yeah, that's me.
Can you put
somewhere.
on speaker view so we can see it?
Okay, wait, let me put on speaker view.
Yeah, if he puts on speaker view, Barbara, we'll be able to see it clear.
Oh, just a minute. I lost it. I'll get it back. There we are.
Then you need to talk so that it'll be on the speaker for you, for us.
Okay, that's King Neptune, a mermaid, and a pirate.
Yeah, that
Let's
was
see
me.
if I can find a clear picture. I think I've got one of you and Bo together.
I was just floored that people didn't recognize me. They were looking at me, but they didn't know it was me.
And there's Luis.
The captain.
Yeah, the captain.
Good trip. Good trip. Well, if you find it, let me know. I'll switch it back. Okay. Well, anyway, we're
Well, there
not
was a
here.
good one.
Okay, hang on. We'll try
The
that again.
lobster.
No, she was cute.
Connie Livingston.
Where can you remind me what it was? California, yeah, but
San
where?
Diego.
San Diego.
Oh, San Diego, right?
The 30th. It was the 30th convention.
Ah, okay, that's what it was. Got it. Lots of fun. We got to dress up, and I went as Poseidon, and so that was my costume 2 nights ago. Hooray! Well then, as I said, last couple of calls, we've really put a focus.
There it is. There's King Neptune all by himself.
All right, wait. Try that again. Say it again.
King Neptune all by himself. Now the lighting wasn't great. 'cause
Yeah,
all
you got the
lighting was turned
backlighting, so you
down.
can't really see that it's me, but then when it is what it
See
is.
if I can.
So forget it.
There.
Leave it at that. Leave it at that. Right. So we were talking about Autoship wellness subscription. I know Luis talked about it on the call the other night as well. Obviously, there's an emphasis there for a reason, and we want to up the numbers overall, not just for Niken, but for our own business. But you know, I want to hear some feedback about your take on what you've heard, the business spin on it, how it affects your income, immediate and long term, and maybe some strategies for how you can engage customers and start working with them on getting into a wellness subscription, some lead-ins there. And so I'm asking for some feedback first and foremost.
Well, Mike, I can only talk about what I do, right, in terms of my feedback, in terms of what we've been talking about. And I'm dealing with a woman that I've never met, but I've come to know through different connections in another province. And she's in real need of the products, and she has a great business sense, I know, because she runs another business. And since I can't have her come to my house, the only thing I can do to kind of whet her appetite, as far as I know, is to address in a focused way issues that she's dealing with through product. Some of those products are nutritionals. And I explained to her, she said, well, can I pay you? I said, this is what I'm looking for. If you find that these help you, there are other products like a sleep system that I really think would help you. And this is the way the business works. You find that you've been helped and you pay it forward. So one of the ways that I kind of increase my volume is there are business investments that are designed to increase the business in the long run. It's a guess, but I'm usually pretty good at these educated guesses.
All right, very good. I love that phrase, pay it forward. I know we've used it in the past, but just the way you put it, this is the way the business works. You find something that works for you and you pay it forward. I think it's a really good way to even just introduce the business, period. Great comment. Anybody else? We'll get to Ruth in a minute because we'll get to you in a minute, Ruth. You've got a lot to add. And I know we've done this call in the past, but it's worth bringing up again. Anybody? Oh, Barb.
Hi,
Yeah.
Mike. Pat Gormley. I'm in Paul's group. I'm a perm executive. I'm one of these people. I'm trying to get to silver. My computer's not allowing me to join, but I caught the number by phone, and so I'm here. One of the rare nights that I'm actually home on Monday nights. But I wanted to tell you that I'm doing this. I'm trying to get the people thing together too, and I'm starting to invest in the products. I just bought 2 of the new pillows, and that complements my sleep system beautifully. And so that's where we are, Mike. I'm trying to get to the point where I'm silver, and so I'm no longer permanently an executive.
Awesome. Good stuff. Now you're coming from Washington. What's the 301 area code?
Frostburg, Maryland.
Oh, Maryland. Okay, cool. Excellent.
I'm way out in the west. I'm the one and only Niken in the city of Frostburg.
Awesome. Well, let's help you make more people aware there.
Well, I'm doing my level best to do that, but I'm doing the product side right now and working on that's harder on the people side because there are not a lot of people up here.
Okay, fair enough. Well, listen, opportunity is everywhere where there's people. So however many people there are, don't forget to share the opportunity. Anyone else? Oh yeah, Barb, sorry, go ahead.
That's okay. After Louis' emphasis on the Autoship, and that the letter went out to customers offering a free bottle of immunity, I sent out an email today to all my customers and my consultants promoting the immunity, reminding them about the 10% off if they have a wellness subscription, gave them the item code, offered to assist them in placing an order if they were having difficulties. I enclosed the picture of the medicinal mushrooms book, the graphic where it shows the book, the explanation, and the bottle of immunity as one graphic, included that. Also mentioned for Canadians that we're getting our products via FedEx now, so there won't be a delay. But yeah, I sent that out today, and I've already been receiving feedback. Thanks for the updated information. Great graphic, great information. So we'll see where it leads.
Excellent. Wow. I was going to suggest, graphics are great for the initial image, but videos are something that people connect to, especially if it's, you talking about your story. But if
I
you
did
don't
a video post today on it,
okay,
on both Facebook and Instagram.
great. Okay. That's what I was going to say. So a video post, even to be able to do just a short video clip that everybody who's got a Gmail account has a YouTube channel. So, and if you don't, just create a Gmail account so you can get a YouTube channel. And then you can post little videos of you that you can do on Zoom. You can record yourself, put that video up on, or just on your phone. It's even easier if you just do it right off your phone and shoot that video straight up into your YouTube channel. Learn how to do it. Google it. It's really actually very simple, taking a video from your from your camera and putting up on your video, on your YouTube channel. And then you have a link. You can, like I do after these videos are done. And then you can send the link, say, here's a little message for you to learn a little bit more about how this product has impacted me, or something of that sort. I really like, there's a graphic that has maybe a PDF, could be a PDF that's circulated. If you don't know it, I can look for it. That had the ingredients list of the mushrooms, the different mushrooms, and what they're known for. So to have that, to even just put that together in a graphic and to send that out to people, it's extremely powerful. Or take the video that I recently posted with Roger Drummer, where he talks about the section of the mushrooms. You can take that video and just maybe either extract data from that, or just take that video. I believe on YouTube, there is a way for you to share a video at a certain starting point. Okay, so let's say there's a 3-hour-long video and I don't want to have to send a 3-hour-long video to somebody. I can fast forward the video to the moment I want them to start watching. And there's a way to forward it so that it starts at that point. I know I've done it before. I know it can be done that way. That way you can send somebody a video and say, watch this. It starts at 8 minutes, at the 8-minute mark, and you'll learn tremendous amount from this Chinese herbologist about what the immunity has in it and the advantages. So that's
There's a
another
particular guy on YouTube, Kevin Strattert is his name, and he shows you how to edit a video where you put the start marker and the stop marker so you can extract only what you want.
That's awesome. Again, Kevin.
I've got his last name is Strattert, I think. S-T-R-A.
Yeah.
I'll pull it up, Mike.
Yeah,
I'll
if you can pull it up
give
and then
to
share
you.
it on the text and the chat, and then I'll share it live so that we have a copy on the recording. That's great. This is good information because there's tons of stuff that's out there, and that video is killer. I mean, that video with Drummer is as good as it gets. Madeline.
Can I just ask, Mike, before that, is that the one where you're interviewing him, or
Well,
he's
there's
just
two.
talking? There are two.
Yeah.
Either
I mean,
one or both, or what?
either one, but the first one that I sent out where he's just talking, I think he's more on point because he's
Okay.
presenting the products. The one where I'm interviewing him, it's more of an interaction. It's more of a, I think more for consultants than it would be for a customer, because I really get into a bunch of stuff with him. That's a great audio too, by the way. Great interview. One of my best. That was the highest viewed video that I did in interviews. Madeline.
A couple things, whether they're customers or members, if they have an air filter or a water filter, I
Yeah.
suggest they begin on the wellness subscription once a year for the stones, twice or quarterly for the, depending on how many people are in the house, for the waterfall filter cartridge. And then same thing again, twice a year, whether they have dogs or whatever, some of the elderly and that I deal with on the air filter. So that's set up and they have an extra 10% off. And then those that want to begin slowly, what I recommend is that I teach them about the wellness subscription, that they can change it from every other month, whatever, soon as it's shipped out, but to at least put one nutritional, and I always recommend the Jade Greenzymes for all the reasons, and whatever else they want to get. So they're saving the 10% on that. And then they can add other items and maximize shipping. So they can add a Mag Duo one time and a Power Chip another time, and then add to their repertoire a beginning order if they want to begin smaller. When they say they want one thing, I highly recommend the synergy of the combination. If they put a sports bottle, a jar of Greenzymes, and then whatever other kind of triphase, they have each one of those technologies all work better when they have the external triphase, the internal water conduit with the nutritional, and that's the most high powered, I feel. And so that gets them into a wellness subscription for their first order. Well, I
Right.
don't know if I want to be on that. Well, let's give you, and so I show a couple options and you can change, you can stop it. If you don't want it the next month, change it to quarterly or change it to or set it up biannually. See how you feel at the end of 1 month, you can go in and change it again. So screen sharing and teaching them how to do their own and starting them on a wellness subscription for their first order rather than, and then introducing them to, we have the skincare line and so forth, and everything else in the other components of the wellness home works better if you put the high test fuel in on the inside or the outside with the skincare, because that's nutrition as well.
Okay, so let's start with, say, from our quarterly review on the weekend, we learned that the waterfall, the water products, particularly the waterfall, is the most sold item. So what if, and I'm pretty sure most everybody on this call sold one or more, why not? We need to get practiced. We need to get in the habit of asking for a wellness subscription. I mean, if we were a nutritionals company, that's all we would do. We wouldn't even think twice about it. So we're culturally not that. And so we need to start to develop a culture of that. That's why there's such an emphasis of this right now. And maybe then the starting point to break the ice for you to get some practice in is with people who have purchased a waterfall or shower or a sport bottle from you and say, hey, let's talk about your water. And how I would start that is go back to why they bought it in the first place. Remember, everything starts with why. Why is always where you start all the conversations. Start with why. So why did they get it in the first place? How are they enjoying that water? Do they want to continue to enjoy that quality of water? And then you can say, in that case, we need to ensure that your filter is changed per the manufacturer's recommendation, which is every 3 months on time. Now, we can do it one of two ways. I can call you every 3 months and check in with you and help you place that order. Or two, I can show you how to place that order on your own, because you have your own customer account. Or three, you can make it so that the order comes to you every 3 months automatically, and there's this 10% savings for doing it that way. Which option would you like? And that's kind of a way to break the ice. So I suggest if you have a customer who's bought a waterfall and has not, or a shower unit or a sport bottle, and has not been put on a wellness subscription, that's your homework for this week. Because honestly, why would they buy the unit and not buy the replacement cartridges? They want the quality water, and this is the only way to have it. How many of you have a waterfall on this call?
Yes,
Okay, right. And do you replace your filter with regularity?
yes.
And how do you do it? Do you do it by just remembering to order it? Do you have a note in your phone, or do you have it on a wellness subscription? Which way are you going? You just shut it out.
Oh, I remember, because the
I
way shipping
remember
works
too.
out in Canada, I want things to happen at certain times. And so,
Right.
you know,
So, well, with a consultant, you usually have more than one thing that you're ordering, so you probably factor it into your order.
yes.
But I'll tell you what I did, because my Autoship is a robust, I've told you in the last call, I have a pretty robust Autoship order, and that filter is in my Autoship order. So it comes monthly, not even every 3 months. But that's because, one, when we do events, we set up a waterfall and we always use a new waterfall filter. Two, when I do promotions and I want somebody to try the unit, I have to have a fresh cartridge in there, so that becomes an expense to my business, but it's sort of a puppy dog approach. Three, I have more than one waterfall in use. So I need to have a constant supply of that. That's why I have it monthly. But obviously you can set it up every 3 months, and there's good reason to do that. Okay, I want to go to Ruth. Sorry, Princess Leia. Ruth, why don't you give us a little bit of insight about your business? Because you do have, we do have a hand up from the 301 area code. Is that on purpose? No, okay, good. All right, Ruth, why don't you profile for us what your wellness subscription business looks like, and how has that factored into your business in terms of regular business and volume and whatnot? How does that factor into income? How does that factor into incentives? Basically, the three things that we really measure.
Okay, so first of all, I personally have a handful of people that have, sorry, we have trick-or-treaters.
Cool.
I personally have had a handful of people that have been on Autoship for over 22 years.
Wow.
These are old timers, and they love how they feel by taking the basic, J Green, lactoferrin, immunity, women's formula, 4 or 5 items, but that's their base, right? And they've been on it for 22 years, including myself. I've never had a month without an Autoship with nutritionals. My dog, we have cats and dogs on our that order our nutritionals, because my dog takes J Green, lactoferrin, immunity, joint, digestion. Yeah. So
Whoa, slow that down. Say that again. Your dog
so my
takes-
dog
Yeah.
takes J Green, lactoferrin, immunity, joint formula, and digestion. He's
Wow.
14. Yeah, he's 14 and a half years old. He acts like a puppy. People cannot, and of course he has his own air filter. He sleeps on his pet pad. He has a power band necklace on. He has a grounding mat that he sleeps on.
Do you mix the Jade Greens? Do you just like open up the capsules and mix it all in the food? No?
No, I put all the capsules in, and he just chomps it on like it's normal food.
Wow.
Now, my
So
grandpuppy-
you're using the Jade Greens in capsule form, right?
Capsule. Mhm.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, my
Cool.
grandpuppies are only a year and 2 years old. Both of them also do J Green. We do open because they're little miniature Dachshunds, and we do open it and sprinkle it on their food, and they just inhale it. And my 16-month-old grandbaby also does J Green capsule. We open it and put it in yogurt. So she gets a capsule of J Green every single day. So now we're affecting the next generation, right? And so for me, our goal has always been for the past 3 or 4 years to create a wellness subscription that accumulates 4,000 points per month, because we want to qualify Club Ki with just wellness subscriptions. Now, I have to be honest, we've been trying to do this for 3 or 4 years. We finally did it this past July. So we did it once. We haven't done it continuously, because we've set up wellness subscriptions monthly, bi-monthly, quarterly, semi-annual, depending on what the need is.
So
the
there's
month that-
different frequencies.
Yeah,
that-
so there is, we have, but the goal is, that is our goal. It's on our goals every single year, is to have a wellness subscription, 4,000 a month, to qualify as Club Ki. So that's our overall goal when it comes to wellness subscriptions. Now, I talk, anytime we sell a waterfall or air filter or anything that has a consumable, we immediately, now that we have the functionality with the new system, we immediately say that I could set you up on a frequency so you don't ever have to forget. And you'll know just like clockwork, when it appears at your front door, you got to change it. And I tell them, I do the same for me, because life is too short for me to remember that I have to order these things. And so I share with them, that's what I do. And it just makes my life easier. So that's the first thing I do with people that are buying things that have filter replacements. The next thing is, every time I do anywhere between 5 to 8 connects every single week. And every single conversation I do somehow gets me back to, and I will keep it here. I don't have it here right now because I put it back. I have my KVB, I show them, I have my J Green, and I always talk about the powerhouse of 3, which is J Green, immunity, and lactoferrin. And then I share with them my story. Ever since COVID hit, when I go out, whether it's Trader Joe's or Costco, I take 1 J Green, 1 lactoferrin, 1 immunity before I go. And when I come back, I take another one, because I want to boost my immune system. And, I've not gotten sick, and I have not taken the shot. So I'm very open about that. And I tell them it's because you're not going to get sick when your immune system is strong, but that's just a personal opinion. And then I tell them I've been flying. Oh my gosh, I've gone on at least a dozen flights in the past year and a half. I travel quite a bit. And when I'm on the plane, well, actually, when I'm at the gate, I take 1 J Green, 1 gate. I take 1 J Green, 1 lactoferrin, 1 immunity. And when I get off the plane, I take 1 of each. So I share with them what I'm actually doing. I'm not asking them to do something that I don't do. But hello, none of us are sick, and that's a wonderful thing. And we are exposed all the time. But I really believe it's our nutritionals. So I love that Nikan has sent this immunity email, because this is a perfect time to say, winter's coming, want to boost your immune system. And by the way, Nikan has given you an amazing nutritional that has 14 species of mushrooms. So every conversation I do, every conversation will bring me back, and I have them here to show them. And yeah, and I always ask if they have any cats or dogs, because then I will share them my dog's testimonies. And if they have a cat, I have wonderful cat testimonies on jade enzymes. I also go to moms groups. I always talk about with moms groups because they have kids that always get sick. And I'll say, my daughter's never gotten sick, never taken any meds for 22 years since I've been involved. So it's my own stories that I'm able to share with them with conviction. That's allowed me to then make a point to say, it doesn't get any easier than that. And now that I have a grandbaby, she is also on the nutritionals, right? So she has her own air filter. So I just think that you have to share. And one thing I wanted to share that Paul had said, ever since COVID, I have not had any physical one-on-ones. I mean, I shouldn't, maybe I had one this year, and it's already October, but I have done everything via Zoom. I cannot muscle check, but I can tell them and share with them my stories, right? My personal story. And so that's what's important, I think.
And by the way, it's not just important when you're doing a one-on-one. The whole social media, like I know it's nice to have nice fancy videos from Nikken, and I've seen a bunch of the stuff that they've produced in Latin America, but that's not what sells. What sells people are the videos of you telling your story. That's what draws people in. And considering most of the people who you've connected with on social media are people who know you, then when you share your story, it's intimate, it's personal, and they start to understand and appreciate the value. So that's more powerful than any slick video of a product, because they all look the same at the end of the day. They're slick, and somebody's got one slicker than yours. So if you want to compete on that level, we're probably not going to do very well. But when you tell your story and they can hear you speaking it, the emotion that you have, the passion that you have for it, the details, they're going to relate to that. And that's the power of our business model. Our business model is really not about commercial advertising. It's about the power of our personal story.
Yes.
So, so again, this kind of emphasizes a point that I made last week, I think, or the week before, where I asked how many people want to make money, and everybody's hand went up. And I said, how many people are on Autoship? And half the hands went up. And I said, okay. And so what we need to do is we need to be all in. And to make money with a wellness subscription program, you need to be on the wellness subscription program. No different than if you want to make money in Nikken, you need to be on the Nikken product. So consider the wellness subscription an engine. It's an engine that has the ability to sustain and support your business long term, and keep those relationships those connections plugged in. I want to also emphasize the follow-up. I think the email is probably way in the bottom of somebody's email list by now, and so that one email is not going to do the job. It just, what that does is it creates an awareness, but the awareness will fade if it's not followed up with. So I think a follow-up connection to the people, your customers who those went to, with something new. Give them some more information, give them some insights as to why you think that email is special. If you actually make reference to the email, then they're going to start looking for the email. Oh, I thought I saw that. Did I miss that? Where do you, oh, it's in your inbox. It's the subject line is, give them details so they can quickly research their inbox and find that email, and just tell them now why, or something. You could even do it in a video clip. I mean, there's so many ways you can do it, but do it, because I think the mailer that Nikken did is not going to sell a whole lot of wellness subscriptions. It just is the door knocker. It's the follow-up that does the sales. So they knocked on the door for you. Now get in there and start talking to those contacts about why you think that email's so great, how lucky they are that they got that. Yeah, go ahead.
So I also want to share, it's very important, you talk about follow-up, but tracking it. So I use my phone calendar all the time. So when I sell a waterfall, or Kinko Air, I immediately put it on my calendar to remind them if they choose not to set up the wellness subscription at the very beginning, and I'm okay with that. But I use my calendar all the time to put a reminder. And then I've decided in this past year, just like what Madeline said, to teach them how to do their own wellness subscription. I've now spent 15, 20 minutes on a Zoom, making them share the screen and walking them through how to change their wellness subscription, because you got to teach them, right? So they can be self-sufficient. And that has saved me a lot of time. It's an investment in time up front, but now they know how to change their wellness subscriptions. I don't have to deal with that. No longer it's on my calendar. It's a wonderful thing. So that is important on tracking them. And you got to figure out a way. For me, it's been on my phone. I use my phone all the time for a calendar reminder. And I just have an emoji with the little hand, it says love. And so I know that my intention is to share with them and stay on top of them. But the phone has been a great tool for me. The other thing I wanted to share is I teach my team members, my downlines that are working, all of them qualified by just wellness subscriptions alone. The ones that are working, not the.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so,
awesome.
And that's important too, right? You have to.
No,
practice what
that's
you
a
preach.
habit. That's a culture that you're building in the team. And I think that's really important. And I think we as a company have to adopt this, especially if we're going to become the most, well-known wellness company that teaches active wellness. What does that even mean, active wellness? If you're not active, then that doesn't mean anything. So we want to build a culture and a community that people consider this an important part of how they stay active. I kind of liken the wellness home to any home. The home, you move in, you buy furniture. There's upfront costs of the durables, but you got to still pay the heating bill, the gas bill, the electricity bill, the phone bill, the cable bill. Those are ongoing things that you pay monthly to keep the house going. Same thing, your body. There's some durables that you're going to buy up front, but then what about keeping that body in tip-top shape? So Madeline, you have your hand up. Thanks for that.
Just picking up on what you just said, it's your groceries, bringing in fresh groceries all the time.
Right.
And this is your nutritional supplement, it's your groceries. And what Ruth just said, I use this, can you see it? I guess I don't have it back far enough. The card that you showed, Mike, the 500 model. I guess with my virtual screen on, it isn't showing. So let me take that virtual screen off. Anyway.
You're talking about this one here?
No, I can't see you.
Is it the let's call it the
that's
ripple effect?
That's what I'm holding up. Yeah, but
Right,
with the virtual screen, right.
Okay.
And that's what I show. That's what I use. I'm the opposite of Ruth. I'm going to do more on social media, but I see people. I have them here all the time. So I pull this out and say, if you want a business, I think you have to be a product of the business. So you need your own groceries coming in, and there's samples. So I do sample strength testing with it. And when I do the sequential strength testing, I always add a nutrition along with, standing on it, adding the water and breathing the air. And each time, and again, capturing the look on their face, they just can't believe we're even holding the nutritionals next to them. They don't even need to be drinking them, but giving samples of the nutritionals and showing this basic model of 100 CV, not hard to do 100 CV, that if they're on it and 5 customers are on it, they're meeting this minimum model, and that shows the exponential effect. So that is your basic. This is your basic, whether it doesn't matter what you add on top of that.
Speaking of minimum models, this model makes an assumption of 100 CV per month, right?
Right. CV.
CV. And when we look at Nikan's quarterly information, they were giving us numbers of 170.7 US, 191.73 Canadian average auto ship. So that matches and actually surpasses the 100 CV per month, which I always thought was a accurate but modest example. So this diagram is a very realistic proposal, and this is only with 5 people in each. That's 5 loyal customers plus yourself. And I mean, Ruth, how many do you have? Yeah, you said you got some people been on for 22 years. A handful of loyal customers for 22 years. So you're 22 years proving this point that this is
Actually,
real.
Mike, I do too, and you probably do. It was a requirement. Do you remember silver? I
Yeah,
think
we had
silver
five,
for
we had a
above or
requirement of
anybody.
5, yeah.
Yeah, you had to have.
And by the way, I think that should be.
I
Personally,
agree.
I think it's not a bad idea because, and I've been studying compensation plans for a while. And I like those compensation plans where leadership ranks
Yep.
are also
Yeah.
tantamount to how many customers they have to maintain.
And to go along with that, what Ruth said, I have 25 years and almost 25 now. And as I go back and look at the people that have stayed on and didn't drop their those wholesale customers, I'm going back and getting them engaged with the new phone app now. But because they went to humans being more, because they had their sleep and water and their packs, and because they were on Autoship, they've stayed on it. They've never missed it. And some that have decided, I have former silvers that just want to be customers now. So they move to the customer level and they have their same Autoship. They never stop the
Right.
Autoship. So I have those. So those are my original customers, original distributors, where the 100 was required to get paid.
Right.
And I do think that's important if you want a business. It's like how can you do this without having your own insoles in your shoes or your own
Well,
sports?
here's another point though, with respect to the emphasis of Autoship or wellness subscription for consultants, okay, as a business plan. If those consultants waver in their efforts where the business is concerned, which we know statistically that's a real number, right? There's attrition in the business. But if the attrition is only on the business building activity and not on the Autoship, that means you've got customers for life.
Yep.
And they're more likely to be a customer for life if they've been well educated, and they're more likely to have been well educated if they spent a bit of time building the business. That's how they got educated. So our business building activity to attract business partners, if we acknowledge that they don't stay forever, some come for a season, some come for a few seasons, some come for life. There's different reasons for that. But if they never fail to be a customer, through all of that, we have customers for life because we make a point of creating that culture. Then you've got that curve that I was showing in the two calls ago. It's that ongoing growing, even though their business activity may trail off, their consumption doesn't. So that creates an ongoing growing base of customers that our business building activities has generated. And that's the income that we call passive income. Barb. You're on mute.
Sorry about that. Just wanted to make one comment about the email I sent out today. I never mentioned anything about COVID because people are sick and tired of hearing about COVID. But everybody is used to having colds and flu as soon as the fall hits. So I put the emphasis on avoiding the colds and the flus and respiratory conditions without mentioning anything about COVID. So
Right.
just
So
as a
the-
point, and I've put that chap's name in the chat.
Oh, let's just have a look at that real quick before we go to you, Paul. Okay, so we're looking for Kevin Stratvert.
Yeah.
S-T-R-A-T, Stratvert, V-E-R-T.
Yeah.
Kevin Stratvert, and he's got some YouTube instruction.
All kinds of YouTube instructions.
Do you remember
And
which one
he's
this was
easy,
called?
Easy to follow.
Anything
Yeah, how to edit a video.
Okay, perfect. Kevin
Yeah, his
Stratvert,
titles are clear. So if you know what you want to
YouTube
find,
for Dummies.
basically, but he's very, very good. He used to be solely with Microsoft, but then he's moved everything over onto YouTube.
That's awesome. How to edit videos. Because honestly, some of these videos are really, like I said, they're super stuff. And if you're not sure how to use YouTube, or not in that regard, if some of the things that I do, people ask me, hey, do you have anything for this or for that? I just go to YouTube and I type Niken and whatever it is they said. And I just see if there's a testimony out there. Usually you find something. So we have some really good stuff online. Paul.
And if you want a program for it, OpenShot Video Editor is also good. but that's an actual downloaded program. It's free. Totally free. So
What's it
that's
called?
another option. OpenShot Video Editor.
Okay, I'll download it.
Cool.
I was gonna ask,
Um,
speaking of NECAN and putting in whatever people, there was a guy who had a terrific result with Lou Gehrig's disease, if old timers will remember, and I can't find it, and I
Name
know of
is Green.
somebody.
The last name was Green. If you look up Green. Remember
Green,
riding a bicycle around in Cincinnati and walking up the staircase.
so NECAN Green ALS or something like
I
that,
think that probably would do it if it's out there.
if it's out there. Okay, thank you, Madeline.
You're
The
welcome.
thing I was gonna say, Mike, is there's only so much time in a day, so my process is I'm looking for business builders because of exactly what you said. They go through a process of education, they're more interested in staying with it, and then there are various kinds of levels of involvement after. Some build, some just keep the same momentum, but they all consume products in one way or another, and some of them are Autoship. So yeah, they're, rather than who am I looking for? I'm looking for I do that on social media, but when I go out every day, I'm not looking for people to buy nutritionals because it's just, I
Right.
can't do that.
And I get you. My daughter, Savannah, she likes doing marketing stuff, videos, and she saw something recently called mud water, and apparently that's making its way around. Everybody's hearing about this mud water, and all it is a drink mix, which has, all the goodies, mushrooms and stuff like that. And so she's thinking about doing her version of that for the immunity. And I said, well, let's do it. I mean, it's great because it's just marketing. There's so much. What I'm seeing on, I sent Luis today a video. I don't know if he saw it yet, but it's a company that has some green drink. And they just, put a bunch of vitamin stuff, fresh stuff, whatever, and turned it into a green drink. And it's just the way they market it is what's clever. It's not like it's anything new and nothing you haven't seen before. It's just how they market it makes it desirable. And so we never went to school for marketing. None of us went to school for marketing. Who here has video editing skills? I mean, so it's not something we're in the habit of creating or doing, but it's not a bad idea to tell your story. At the very least, become a storyteller and tell your story by video, because that's what people stop and listen. And all you have to do is hold up your nutritional and just say, since this thing, it's got blah, 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 blah. And let me just tell you, forget about what's inside. Here's what it makes me feel inside. And then you just go, people will lean into that. Princess Leia, you have another comment?
I do. So two things I wanted to share. One is that, and I do it myself and I teach all my team members a month. I have one on the 1st that does my main things, and then one on the 15th in case I run short. So I have taught my people to do the same thing.
Wait, you have one
on the 1st of the month.
Yeah.
And then I have a second one on the 15th of the month, because sometimes people come to the house or whatever. I have to give, I feel like a drug
You
dealer
have what
sometimes.
on the 1st of the month?
A wellness subscription.
You have 2 wellness subscriptions, one on the 1st
Correct.
and one on the 15th. Okay.
Correct. And I teach my silvers that qualify every month. They also do the same. It's a backup. If somebody needs a bottle or something, and we spot it, we sell it, whatever, we always have that mid-month wellness subscription to fall back on to adjust for the month. So that's one thing that we do. The other thing that I do my best is, depending on when somebody joins and starts their wellness subscription, over a few months' time, I will back it up maybe 3 or 4 days, so that eventually I want to qualify by the 1st of the month. That's my goal. So by the first of the month, I'll have, 2,500 points of wellness subscription. So I do my best to shift things to the beginning of the month because I want to know that that's there just like clockwork, and I don't have to worry about qualifying. We've done that for years, way back, So that's another technique that we use because I think it's important to know that that part is done and I can focus on everything else.
Right.
So I just wanted to share. Those are two things that we are doing as a team.
Awesome. Very, very good. I'm in favor of that, especially in the first week of the month at the very least, because then you do cover your basics. And then the rest of your month is what you're adding to it.
All I can afford to do is I do the vitamins. That's all I can do right now.
Sure.
I can't get into the real heavy Autoship. I almost got myself in trouble financially a few years ago when I did that, and I had to stop it.
Okay, so what you want to do though is you want to start leveraging your story, because it's not just about consuming, it's about leveraging your story so that you can create revenue. I mean, it only takes 5 customers buying what you're taking and yours is paid for just through your retail profits. So we want to turn our passion into profits by turning our story, leveraging our story for the people.
I will tell you that I've got a sleep system story. I used to suffer from non-24 sleep-wake disorder, Mike. That's when the body doesn't get, the pituitary gland doesn't get enough light to tell you when it's time to go to bed.
Mm.
A lot of preemies suffer from that, and some blind people who were preemies also suffer from it. And since I got the sleep system, I very seldom, if ever, have any trouble sleeping, ever. And I showed my vitamins to my doctor recently, last week, as a matter of fact. So, and the combination of the sleep system and my vitamins have prevented me from getting COVID.
Well, what we can say is it's definitely kept you healthy, and
the body, it helped the body help itself.
Well, they say, the studies indicate, the medical profession indicates that one bad night's sleep reduces your immunity by 50%. So if immunity is something we're concerned about, we cannot afford a bad night's sleep. So investing in a sleep system to improve the quality of sleep, and you've just said your story is impeccable for sharing that is in fact exactly what happened, then you can be sure, 100% sure, and it's not making a medical claim to say your immune system is working a lot better since you've been sleeping a lot better. So, yeah, really good.
I just got to be careful with the Autoship until my income gets better, because
sure. No. I mean, this is not a point of the point is that we're learning how to become productive with all of these tools, and Autoship is one of those tools. It's not just for our convenience, it's for us to also be generating an income and growing an income. Okay, guys. Yes, you have one more thing, Ruth?
Yeah, I just, the chat, Lorraine Martin mentioned, you have a customer that did not get the email about the immunity. So the way, from what I understand, is that the customers that got the email, it's because they had an Autoship and they canceled it and they did not order any immunity in the past. So it's not everybody across the board that gets an email of a free bottle of immunity. There were some criteria that they determined, and those are the people that got the email to get a free bottle of immunity. So I just want to clarify that for Lorraine.
Okay, thanks for that clarification. All right, folks, again, happy Halloween. Hope you guys are having a nice evening, trick-or-treating, or don't eat too many sweets. And thanks for your input, Ruth, and everybody. Very good and useful information. These last 3 calls, I think, in tandem, really help support a really good understanding of how to apply yourself in building your business, your residual income, your ongoing volume, meeting your requirements before the month even starts. That's just, I mean, think about it. That's the way to go. So thanks for everybody's contribution, and we'll see you again next week. Don't forget, tomorrow is a new month, and we have our kickoff call. Lots of good stuff coming up there. And hey, have a great month end.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Good night,
everybody.
everybody.
Good
Thank you.
night.